do you guys remember the Shannon Sharpe story that we got into yesterday? Those text messages, those vulgar text messages, baby batter, big black babies, all sorts of weird things that were exchanged in these messages. The lady who is suing Shannon, she filed under Jane Doe. She wanted to remain anonymous, but he unmasked her. He named her over 12 times, over a dozen times in his Instagram story, right? He released very extremely vulgar, intimate text messages from her. And now she is fighting back. And I love this for her. Shannon, your days are numbered. He was playing victim this entire time. And I'm skipping ahead. We're going to get to this later, but let me just start off this segment by telling you guys something that Shannon neglected to mention very conveniently. You know how Shannon said that this girl is a fraud? She's a liar. She's just here to extort him for money. Shannon allegedly tried to settle with this woman, and allegedly was for $10 million. So if someone is lying, if someone is a fraud, this, that, and the other, why the heck were you allegedly trying to settle with her, Shannon Sharpe? When someone has conviction that they are innocent, they don't try to settle. Ask Jay-Z. But you, apparently you had your checkbook out and you wanted to make this go away for $10 million. And when she refused, you turned onto the offense, to the attack, releasing vulgar, just disturbing messages that have nothing to do with your alleged assault on this woman. So why don't we take a look at some of the messages that the woman is fighting back with? Okay. So here's the first one. She's telling Shannon, I cried when you left because I begged you to put a condom on and not put it in my butt, and you didn't listen. I don't care what our history is. No means no, Shannon. I don't know how to process this. Shannon, of course, he knew that this could become a legal thing, so he doesn't confirm or deny. He just says, can I call you later? Because what's on a call becomes he said, she said, right? It cannot be proven. And so to his side, instead of counteracting what is being said here, what does he do? He releases more explicit messages that have nothing to do with it. A distraction. See, this is what people mean when they say Darvo, right? Now he's releasing these messages of her saying, I want to be abused, daddy. I want some hardcore BDSM action, though. That's different because even in the world of kink, there is consent. Consent can be removed at any time. There are safe words. And to me, based off this text message, she was disturbed by what happened. She said no. She didn't want this. Very disturbing. Oh my goodness. Shannon Sharpe, 50-something years old, chasing after a 19, 20-year-old, right? That's just so vile. And then his attorney, Laney, continues to double down on this, saying, and I quote, these text messages, and let me put up the text messages that they're releasing to clap back against her, calling him out for allegedly putting it somewhere he wasn't supposed to. She's like, his lawyer's like, well, look at these messages. They show that she likes and asks for fantasy role playing and other forms of unusual sexual behavior. Shannon is claiming that the messages prove that she was one way, but then she only changed when he refused to have a child with her. And that basically is what all of this is about. All of this is just a shakedown. And he says that he is going to be the one suing her for defamation soon. Listen, the girl filed a lawsuit against you. She didn't go and give interviews about you and all this stuff, accusing you of things. She was allowed to file a lawsuit. I don't think you could sue for defamation based off of a person filing a lawsuit against you for SA. That feels like a very big abuse of the system, right? Douchebag move, as Luce would say. Ronnie says, I never knew why my dad hated him so much when watching sports. I guess I know now. Your dad, Ronnie, has the spirit of discernment. Tadisha says, there's no reason why Shannon should be dating someone who could be his granddaughter. Apparently this girl is younger than his actual children. Just to add to just how disturbing this whole thing is. Shout out to my Canadians. This guy qualifies for a senior discount card at Bulk Barn. Oh, how I miss Bulk Barn, right? And he's chasing after a 20-year-old, a girl who was just 19 a couple of months ago, a teenager. Like, that's disgusting. Hey, Gala, nice to see you. We gave you a shout out at the very beginning of today's episode. Thanks so much for joining and becoming a channel member. Nice to have you here. And I'm so excited for you to check out some of our exclusive videos and posts over there. Like he says, Shannon is definitely not the victim in this case. She needs to sue him for all he's worth. No means no. I completely agree. Let's put up these messages again to remind Shannon. We don't care about this kinky stuff. We don't care about the big black baby. I'm never going to stop saying that. It is just too funny, that one. We don't care about the baby batter, Shannon. We care that no means no. You are not going to distract us from the point. God. Jaleesa says, I have so many thoughts on this. He was probably too rough. Yup. And men don't understand that even in the moment, a woman can say, no, this doesn't feel right. Exactly. Especially because this girl was 19. She's younger than your children, young enough to be your damn daughter. And you're out here playing these games with her. You're crazy. Bunny says, I remember reading a study that states that gay and bi men are prone to partner violence, especially with young women. Oh my God. It is so sad. Ladies, we need to watch out for these old creeps. Just, ugh. Honestly, even just looking at this picture creeps me out. That a man this old is running around chasing after 19, 20-year-olds. It's disgusting. Average Canadian mom says he's a loser, gross, and a disgusting human being. He could be getting a senior discount. Oh my God. Average Canadian mom, please enjoy a jalapeno bagel with cream cheese and bacon on my behalf at Tim Hortons, Bulk Barn, all the things I'm so excited to come back and eat when I get back to Canada. Chicken pot pie, turkey pie. Hey, East Awesome, nice Timbits, iced cappuccinos. Hey, East Awesome, nice to have you. I made it. Shout out to the race play people setting us all back. Why isn't Shannon showing his messages? Exactly. On all fronts. All he keeps releasing are these things about what they were doing in bed. Show us other messages, Shannon. Show us what you've been saying, right? And in the spirit of him saying, oh, all of this was just like within our world of kink, I've got an audio tape that the lady had recorded that he kind of like alluded to it the last time we heard from him, right? And in the tape, he sounds serious. He's seriously threatening this young girl that he is going to choke the ish out of her. On what planet is it appropriate for a senior citizen to be threatening to choke out teenagers? That's crazy. Teenagers they're sleeping with. That's crazy. That's Jessica says, so sad in 2025, we still have to exactly say that no means no. It's so sad that she's still going to be blamed. Oh, she was just after money. She just, and it's, because I see a lot of these things on my TikTok, especially because I like 90 Day Fiancé, and a lot of these 90 Day Fiancé dynamics are based on the exploitative money sort of dynamic, right, and power. So you get these really creepy old men. One of them, by the way, do y'all remember the old man with the long hair? He was like 70, 68, 69, 70. And he was with this like young, beautiful, like Latina girl, super thin, super curly, beautiful hair, right? People just kept saying that she deserved all the mistreatment because she's just after. What do you think that after his money? What do you think this old man is after her for? Her personality? Stop it. And guess what? That man, isn't he in prison right now because he was going after minors? Just saying. But they don't catch the heat for it. It's always the young girls. East Awesome says Shannon should have never been in this situation. What the F is wrong with monogamy? If he can't control his libido, then he will continue to accrue legal fees. Period. He is a deviant. He is a weirdo through and through. And the way that he's been trying to taint this woman's name, she filed under Jane Doe. He knows he did something. That's why he was trying to settle, allegedly. And so she refused the settlement. And so now he's saying, oh, if my name's out here, I'm putting your name out here a dozen times minimum. It was disgusting. It was cruel. You're old. You should be worried about dealing with women your own age. What are you running after these little college age girls for? It's just so disgusting. And I hate that this has been normalized in our culture and in our society. No, it needs to be called what it is. It's disgusting, it's predatory, and it's just wrong. Okay. So let's get into him allegedly offering $10 million to settle before she filed her $50 million lawsuit. Okay. So the attorneys actually for both sides, they do agree that Shannon Sharpe and the woman who filed her lawsuit as Jane Doe entered into mediation to try and resolve the issue. Lainey Davis, who is Shannon's lawyer, claimed to Front Office Sports that the accuser demanded tens of millions of dollars in return for her not publishing an X tape that both sides agree exists. However, the accuser's attorney, Tony Busby, told Page Six that Shannon Sharpe offered her $10 million, but she rejected that offer and decided to file a lawsuit. Busby also claimed, and I quote, "Back in early February, our office contacted Mr. Sharpe on behalf of Jane Doe and broached the subject of a meeting. Multiple conversations took place. Ultimately, a mediation occurred." Shannon Sharpe was represented by different lawyers in that mediation. That mediation process went on for more than 6 weeks, ultimately leading to Mr. Sharpe making an incredibly significant offer to settle. However, the Jane Doe allegedly refused the hefty sum offered by Sharpe and instead filed this case. So in her lawsuit, the woman alleges that Shannon Sharpe violently SA'd and anally R'd her 2 different times in Las Vegas on October 6, 2024. So when we take a look at the date, she's saying this happened in October 6, 2024. Why don't we take a look at the text messages that Shannon put out there? He put out a message that she sent that has nothing to do with anything, and it happened a year prior in October of 2023, right? And then you see other messages that took place after the alleged incident, right, in January of 2025. So it's a little bit of like a hodgepodge of the type of stuff that he's putting out there. Let me see what other messages he put out there and the dates. So at least he put out the dates, right, so we can see what's going on. So another message, the baby gravy thing from November of 2023 that happened before the alleged incident. "I want to put my tongue in your booty." Well, she wanted to do that allegedly before the alleged incident in January. August is also before the alleged incident. So there you go. The stuff that he put out there to defend himself were text messages, with the exception of one, that were sent before he allegedly did what he allegedly did. So he just put all this stuff out there with her name, irrelevant text messages that were sent long before the purported incident. Why do this to humiliate this young girl that you were, creeping on? Not a good person. He's been popping off lately with the podcast he has with Ocho Cinco and with Club Shay Shay and whatnot, but I don't know that his reputation is going to be able to survive this. I think they just offered him $100 million contract and whatnot. I don't know if that contract is still going to be on the table after this, right? Especially when you look at these messages that he put out there with the specific intent to humiliate her. This young girl that you should have not even been involved with, younger than your children, Shannon. And we're all supposed to be calling her a whore of Babylon. We're supposed to be doing all these sorts of things to defend your creepy ass, when you could have just been with a nice woman your age. You could have found a nice 50-year-old woman, 45-year-old woman, 40-year-old woman, even a 35-year-old woman, even though that still would be too young for you. But no, you had to go as young as possible, and you had to use your influence and your power to allegedly do some very, very nasty things to her, and then turn around, allegedly offer to settle with her to keep it quiet, and then punish her when she refused to stay silent. This guy is sick. Bunny says Shannon doesn't want older women because they are wiser and they're not people pleasers. Yep, I think that's what it comes down to. I really do. Lucky says, when it comes to the audio, he needs to be thrown in jail. And you know what? Speaking of that audio, why don't I go ahead and pull up that audio for you guys now so we can listen to it together. Listen to how disgusting he was to that girl. Oh, Shannon Sharpe, you should really, really, really be ashamed of yourself. None of this is okay. Where do you get off even thinking? Oh God. Anyway, give me a second, you guys. I'm gonna pull up the audio for you, because it's the audio tape that she filmed of a conversation that she was having with him, and in the conversation, you can tell that he's very agitated with her, and he makes some very serious threats against her. And when he was kind of precipitating the release of this, he was claiming that, oh, like it's just some stuff we were doing for kink. Oh, this does not sound kink. You were not using your big daddy baby gravy kink voice. No, you were using your real voice. You were using your F around and find out voice. So don't come and rewrite history now, Mr. Sharpe. We know, we've seen, and we've heard it all. Okay. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Did I take down that picture of those vulgar text messages yet? Hang on. Is my computer? Lord have mercy. Hang on. Let's see what's going on with my computer. Because I'm trying to play it for you guys. And my computer's trying to do a whole other thing. I think that's my fault because I have not been deleting these massive files that I download onto my computer. Okay, so here I go. Are you guys still able to hear me? Because I'm not seeing any messages coming through. Hey, do you guys see me now? Do you guys hear me? I'm just trying to pull up the image now. Okay, so the timer is going, which is good. I'm just going to pull this up really quickly, Shannon Sharpe. And then let me make sure that my microphone is properly plugged in as well. So, okay, yeah, my microphone. Okay, you guys see me. Okay, so that's good. Lord, these websites have so many ads all the time now, and it feels like impossible to even read an article with all of these ads popping up at you at all times. Hang on, what did I just? Shannon Sharpe, page 6. Shannon Sharpe threatens to choke. Okay, here we go. Got it pulled up. I'm so sorry about that, you guys. And here it is. Take a listen.
And you're just I don't know, anything I say you're just gonna get mad at and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. It is what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing yet. You want to be a to me now, so
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you sit that one more time, I'm gonna choke you out of you when I see you. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I don't.
You know what?
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. our choice in the matter.
There you go. Does that sound like role play? Does that sound like foreplay? It sounds like I'm freaking pissed at you and I'm going to threaten you. I'm 50 years old. I'm rich. I'm powerful. I'm famous. You're like 20 years old. You're nothing. And I could do whatever I want to you, sort of a vibe. Oh, Shannon. Dirty, dirty, dirty Shannon. Honestly, I think it's a wrap on him right now, you guys. I can't, and I got to be honest with you, I never really cared for him as a person. I just heard too many stories about him. But I have to give credit where it's due that he was doing really well with his Club Shay Shay show and everything. But I don't know how much longer he's going to be able to keep that up with such a damning lawsuit, such damning information, receipts and whatnot coming out about him. Shannon, this is creepy behavior. Again, this woman could have been your daughter. And to imagine that this is how you're running around speaking to girls young enough to be your daughter is just gross. It's disgusting. It's weird. Hey, JJ, good morning. Brianna says, women his age would threaten his abusive nature like a young woman expecting the same respect is comical to him. Exactly. Think to yourself, you guys, like what you were like in your early 20s versus like, if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s plus, think of how you were back then versus how you are like now as a fully grown, self-actualized woman, night and day. I used to have a hard time like advocating for myself, talk about what I this and that. But these days, now that I'm a grown ass woman with an age, oh, you can't mess with me. And men like Shannon know this. This is why they go after young girls who were teenagers just last week. They don't know better, right? They don't have the confidence yet to speak out for themselves. They don't have the strength. They don't have the life experience to know when people are running game on them, right? So anyway, it's just so sad. Nikki says, how did he not realize he was being recorded? Men are so dumb. Exactly. I'm supporting this woman, but it was very obvious that she was hoping he would say something like that. I could imagine her smiling when he said, when he threatened her on the tape and told her she had no choice, right? Because I imagine that these are the conversations he has with her. And so she was happy that she had that now as proof. She already knew that this was the route she was going to take. And, to that I say, good. It's the same thing I said when, what's her face? Fire Rose, whatever, Holy Ghost Fire, Billy Ray Cyrus's ex-wife, when he went and married her and she put him through hell, she ran, sir. I said, good. Because what are you doing bothering these young girls? They should give you hell. They should be scaring you. Right? So shout out to this girl not backing down. These old men who are trying to give you hell, trying to exploit you, trying to, creep on you, they need for you to clap back. So whenever these young ladies are doing it, I am happy for them. Jalissa says, I think he'll be fine. Unfortunately, so many men are defending him. And listen, so many men are still defending R. Kelly. So many men are still defending, the worst of the Harvey Weinstein, the worst of the worst. Unfortunately, they're always, going to be those kinds of guys who refuse to clap back against toxic masculinity. She just says, so what made her record him? This is odd. I think that he had already exhibited this type of behavior. And so she just wanted to make sure that she had proof, because it's hard to do the he said, she said game, right? And so she said, no, we're not going to do that. I'm going to get this on tape, in which case, good for her. East Awesome says his lawyer can get him off, but I pray these men stop it. Hell, I got tempted in the locker room after my yoga. I was tempted by an adult, but got dressed and left the gym. Grow up, indeed, or at least go for somebody your own age. Listen, Shannon, go freak around with a girl your own age and listen. When someone tells you they no longer want to engage in X, Y, or Z, you stop that behavior. Everybody has the right to change their mind. Mid-act, 3/4 of the way through, 1/3 of the way through, they could change their mind, and you have to stop. Hey, Jax, good morning. All of a sudden, I am starving, you guys. Oh, my God. And I've got so much more show to do. What do? I'm starving. Mrs. Y says, word on the street is that they were in a sub-dom thing. My opinion, it was a part of those convos and is being used out of context. I don't know if he did it or not, but that's what I'm hearing. To me, I feel like that's a very, convenient sort of excuse for him, right? And then don't forget these messages that he was releasing, and then exposing her name and stuff. The messages he was releasing, like, oh, she wants me, this is that, this and that. These are messages that were sent about a year before the incident even happened. So to me, that already shows that this man is dishonest and he's trying to blurry the waters, muddy the waters, and just paint a certain image that is advantageous to him. You have to remember there's $100 million on the line for him. And I think he is going to pull out anything he can to avoid losing out on that massive contract. To me, any man at his age who is still running around chasing after teenagers or people who were teenagers just last week is not a good person and is someone that needs to be looked into and is someone that, you know, might prefer to have some sort of like, how do you say, kind of just exploitative dynamics at work, right? It very well could be that, but I don't know. I don't trust him and this situation, to be honest with you. And don't forget, he tried to settle. I feel like, you know, anybody who wants to engage in those sub-dom things, maybe get some kind of like an agreement done or something, you know, for when you have these kinds of conversations, like the audio tape that I just played for you guys, because in that audio tape, it doesn't sound sexy, right? Like you would imagine if you guys were doing some kind of role play, you would be trying to make it sound sexy. Like, if you keep acting like that, Mr. Baby Batter is going to choke you out. Something like that. You know what I mean? Like the way he sounded, it sounded like he was talking like to somebody that pissed him the hell off, right? Rason says 50 plus year old men who chase 19-year-old girls, yes, are actual deviants and P-files in my book. Same here. No way around it. They would absolutely seek younger if the law were on this side. 100% agree. These are people who do not care how unethical the age gap at play is in their relationships, right? Like to them, they're not only going for someone at 19 because they're like, oh, this is as young, you know, this is still too young, I shouldn't do it. No, they're like, oh, this is as young as I can legally get away with. If I could do younger, I could. There's no reason for someone that old to be with someone that young. It's creepy. Shay says, if you're hungry, Grace, put us on hold for a few seconds and get a snack. You know what? And I'm thinking, oh, you know what I have? I have like those little charcuterie, like dried sausages. You're so sweet. Thanks. So much. JJ says, most experts suggest that the brain is fully developed by age 25. His had expired. Damn. His had expired and hers isn't even fully formed. Isn't that crazy? Right? Just because he describes himself as a dom doesn't exclude himself. Yes. And that's the thing. A lot of abusive men or abusers in general, they hide it under the whole I'm a dom thing. No, you're not. You just want to hit a woman. No, you're not. You want to degrade a woman. You want to talk to a woman like crap. You want to make her feel like crap. You're not a dom half the time. And how convenient is it that in these BDSM dynamics, on average, not even on average, the vast majority of the people in this dynamic who consider themselves to be the dom, aka the abuser, it's going to be a man 9 times out of 10. And the sub is 9 times out of 10 going to be a woman. What does that say about our patriarchal, you know, sexist society that is already filled with gender violence? It's not a coincidence. It's not, right? Like John just says, 50 plus, running after these young girls. It's creepy. It's weird. It's not okay, right? Ali, he sounded very, very threatening in that call. He's got 3 kids, all born in 92, 2 girls and a boy. They're not triplets, so they're all 32 now. Exactly. 50 plus with children in their 30s, and you're running after a 19, 20-year-old, lock him up. Get out of here. That's disgusting. That's creepy, right? And like Lucky says, even in the BDSM world, consent. And it's incredibly important to them. Good morning, Bree. Nice to see you. Razon says, the fact you tried to pay her off, yep, then tried to humiliate her publicly doesn't suggest innocence on his part. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Exactly. If you're going to release text messages, release both sides. You've only released her messages and messages that have nothing to do with the issue at play. She is accusing you of doing something in 2024, and you release inflammatory messages, humiliating messages that she sent to you a year prior to the alleged incident. You're not arguing in good faith. You're trying to shut her up. And again, he tried to negotiate his way out of this. Why would an innocent person be trying to make any kind of financial settlements? Awesome says sub-dom role play is usually nastier, and it isn't exactly just about choking. You can also sub-dom with someone your age or older. Yep. I would tell it to for. Oh, I know. Now you're making me listen, y'all. Let me give you a word from our sponsor. What did I eat today? I ate a smoothie. Oh, I ate a cordon bleu, but apparently that was not enough. I'm gonna grab some snacks in the fridge. Sorry, y'all. A word from our sponsors, and we'll be back. What are we gonna get into after? Oh, I want to talk about John Cena. Can you believe John Cena got bullied into getting a hair transplant? We're going to talk about that on the flip side. Sorry, you guys, give me a second.
The Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running. Are you looking for the perfect skincare products for women over 30? Look no further than Ruthia. Ruthia is a skincare brand born from love and made for parents. Their flagship product, the Resilience Cream, delivers clinically proven age prevention benefits such as average 14% wrinkle reduction after 4 weeks of use. Click the link below and receive 30% off your first purchase today.